Alrighty guys, we're going back to some more Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Last episode, we went through 2 of the reading materials. We went through Nanai's Histories and Olivert. And in this episode, it's time to finish up the reading materials by going through Enavia Chronicles. But before that, if you guys do like this video and this series, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It'll really help me out, and it'll help make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. So let's talk about this last one, Enavia Chronicles. This is the last of these reading materials. Again, you don't get any actual rewards in-game. I do believe you get an achievement for completing all of them. But these are brand new to this version of the game. They were in the Japanese version, but this is the first time we got official English translations in the game. So, whereas Mesa's Musings was more like a interactive, go to location, find thing, deliver it, and Nania's Histories was more of a gambling kind of game where you have to go track down information so that way you can bet on the right thing. Olivert was more just choose the right option so that way you get the best ending. However, Enavia Chronicles is none of those things. There is apparently only one ending, and if you do not get it, the game will continue to loop over and over and over again until you get the proper ending. To get that ending, you have to have a certain amount of points at the end. This is essentially a choose-your-own-adventure book, a true one, where the options you choose will give you points based on the option you choose, which will then lead you down different paths to get different things. However, some of them are random. So I have gone ahead and I have found somebody who has included an entire spreadsheet showing every single outcome for your choices in Enavia Chronicles, as well as the best option you can choose once you're in Enavia Chronicles. So what we're going to be doing is going through here. I'm going to be trying to choose the best options I can first time through, and if it doesn't work out, we might do a second run or just showing the ending off. I haven't really decided yet because I've seen people spend 10 plus hours on this trying to get the proper outcome. Now, there's not a lot of guides out there on it, so even video-wise, I'll be one of the first. So let's go ahead and just hop right into Enavia Chronicles. From the records at Coos Castle, Enavia. Chapter 8, The 7th Liege Lord, Albert Sign, and the Portrait of a Family. Verse 7, Lucia, 3rd daughter of Lord Albert Sign. The courtyard at Coos Castle. 3 young women, all daughters of Castellan Albert, finished their morning studies and stepped into the garden. Maria was the eldest at 17. I am bade play the harp in the next concert. I'm terribly nervous. What if I make a fool of myself? Alicia was the second eldest at 16. Possessed of a wild disposition, she did not take near enough care for her words. You'll be fine, sister. Goodness knows you have confidence to spare. And then there was Lucia, the youngest, at the tender age of 13. There'll be so many people in attendance. Makes me nervous just at thinking about it. However, Lucia's mind was preoccupied with other matters. Baron, no, off the lawn. Master will have my head if he catches you. I would die a dog's breath were I thrown out. Kurt Grohl, a boy of 14 and son to Edmund the groundskeeper. He and Lucia shared naught between them save the impenetrable wall of class and birth. Yet when Lucia thought of him, her pulse quickened. God's my heart. Never have I felt such excitement, such elation. My heart is beating at least 100 times faster now than it did during my first dance with Leaf, I swear it. We start with 100 and 200 points. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit complicated. Why? It is beating 200 times faster, I declare. What if it were to beat 300? No, 1,000 times faster. Oh, sweet Kurt, my light, my darling. So yeah, that kind of hints at it. We need her heart to beat 1,000 times faster. That is our goal here. What have we done to deserve our birth? Why must you be a humble gardener and I a noble? Why do the stars torture us so? Ludia, are you feeling well? That was Maria, always fussing over Ludia. I know. It's that dog you want, isn't it? I'll go and fetch it for you. That was Alicia, always assuming to know what's best. Sisters, please, you have the wrong of it. I'm very well and in no need of a dog. I must stop thinking like this at once, Lydia considered privately. He's his servant. What if Father were to find out? I shudder to think of the trouble that would befall my Kurt. Or, will I persist in this? I could profess my love for him. We could run away together. So, what we want to do here is... I actually think this is a completely optional one. I believe so. Let me just double check. No. Okay, so... Well, again, this is one of those many options here. So this is considered in the run away together option. There's a couple of different things you could get here. If we confess our love, we will get 38 points. It's like the only good option here. So we're going to go ahead and say confess your love. Lydia imagined how the scene might play out. Kurt, do you have a moment? What is it, milady? He would ask. Milady, no, that's too much. She would blush, stammering slightly. Are you unhappy with the topiaries? Say the word and I'll make them right. Garden is lovely, Kurt, as always, but it's not the grounds I wish to speak of. Lydia sighed miserably to herself. What a fool I am to think such a match would be possible. Father has promised me to another, and I ought be faithful to my future lord. My heart yearns for my darling Kurt. Lydia, a girl of 13. It was another day in the summer of her life. Where's my 38 points? I was supposed to get points there. What a day it has been, Lydia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you. You feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. Okay, there we go, 238. The sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. If I only to pray, to hope that the heavens and all their cruelty heed my humble plea. Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? The courtyard was as it was on any given day. Nary a thing different, not even its visitors. It was Maria, Alicia, and Lutia. Alicia, get down from there this instant. You're too ill to be doing anything half so dangerous. Alicia, however, would not listen, for she was 16 and loved nothing more than to climb. Dangerous, this? It's a tree, not a sword. Oh gods, I can't bear to watch. However, Lucia, for all her concern, had her eyes upon another. You've had your fun, now come down. You know I'll be blamed for this if you're caught. It was Kurt, who chastised Alicia now. He was a servant boy of 14, son to the groundskeeper Edmund. Kurt, shouted Alicia. Kurt Grohl? I need you. Hold me by the hips, will you? What a question, and one to ask so casually. By the what? How vulgar. Maria, ever the lady, gasped at such talk. Confirming though this life was, one thing was certain. There was never a dull day to be had. Lydia and I blushed at the words. What a thing to say, she thought. I hope Kurt pays such ribald orders no mind. We have had our fun, but we must stop. What if Father were to overhear this? Okay, so for this one, we can choose to grow angry at Alicia, help Alicia, or panic and shout. We're choosing to panic and shout. This will be the highest points possible, so we should get about 76, I think, here. At this point, it's going to be hard to keep track just because it's going to start adding them all up, but we'll go ahead and do panic and shout. Lydia was nigh paralyzed by her panic. Her face fell into her palms as Kurt, after suffering a firm upbraiding, assisted Alicia up the tree. I pray Father scolds you within an inch of your life, she silently hoped again and again, as if repetition would make it come true. Lydia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. Again, what happens here, the events are random. One event won't lead into another event, but your choices in the dialogue will lead to different choices of dialogue, so we just happen to get these two back to back. What a day it has been, Lydia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. We're now at 314. Sun will rise and it will set, but no amount of days can afford the divide between us. Have I only to pray, to hope that the heavens, in all their cruelty, heed my humble plea? Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? Courtyard was as it was on any given day. Nary a thing different, not even its visitors. It was Maria, Alicia, and Lutia. Now where did Ludia run off to? Is it just me or has she been acting strangely of late? It's not just you. She has turned her hand to gardening of all things. In a corner of the courtyard, Ludia sat alone, tending to a quaint bed of flowers. Ah, at last. It's starting to look like a proper garden. I wonder what Kurt will say when he sees it. It was Alicia's cry that broke Ludia's concentration. Ludia, what are you doing there? Hurry up, you'll be late for your studies. Ludia rose from her flower bed. Coming, sister. I will see you tomorrow, my flowers. No sooner had Ludia stood than she spotted Kurt from across the garden. Her pulse leapt, her mouth dried, and she froze on the spot. Kurt, however, paid her not so much as a passing glance as he disappeared into his shed and lay out of sight. Ludia was beset with nerves. Should I show him the flowers? They are not in such sorry shape, are they? I did this all for him, after all. If he doesn't at least see them, my efforts will be all for naught. Again, an option here to show Kurt flowers. This is our biggest point total yet. We'll go ahead and do call for him. This should give us about 130 points. We want to keep track of our points because once we hit 600, we actually need to change the way we play a little bit. What am I doing? She asked herself. I can't possibly speak to him, not now. Can I choose call for him? I must calm myself. Only then should I approach him. Do not leave yet, Kurt. Pray remain until I open my eyes again. Ludia, girl of 13. It was another day in the summer of her life. Did I not choose call for him? Did I choose remain quiet on accident? What a day it has been. Yeah, and then we say the same thing. She longs to be with him. Okay, no, we got that 130. I guess she just doesn't call for him. Tell me, Kurt. Do you find my excitement all odd? This growing love for you, it frightens me. Though not half so much as father does. He would take you from me were he to discover us. My heart simply must beat 1,000 times faster if we are to see a happy ending. Oh, my prince, when will I be able to hold you in my arms, listen to your honeyed voice, and share in your stories? I can only pray such a day is not far off. The courtyard was as it was on any given day. Nary a thing different, not even its visitors. There was Maria, Alicia, and Ludia. Lovely weather, wouldn't you agree? Hard to believe such a thick fog was here this morning. You certainly are an early riser. I wasn't even aware it was anything but sunny today. It was foggy? Goodness, one misses so much of the world when aid. Huh? Ludia released a gasp as a gust of wind tore the hat from her head. The accessory sailed through to the birch trees until it was gone from sight and lost to the forest. You're an utter dullard, you know that? Alicia spat at her youngest sister before taking off running after the hat. Alicia, no, you mustn't run. You've only just recovered. Alicia ground to a halt and turned back to Ludia. Flew in the direction of Heath's Haven. Let's chase it down together, shall we? Heath's Haven. We actually have two options here. One is 71 points, that's so long as we walk. And then Edmund will fetch the hat is actually 60. However, there's a chance you get a bad outcome if you choose so long as we walk. So I'm going to go with the 60 points here with Edmund will fetch the hat. Let's have Edmund fetch it. Very well, I will ask him. And with that, Alicia disappeared into the shadows of the forest. Ludia followed her sister quietly, so as not to be seen, and found herself at Heath's Haven. No sooner had she arrived, however, than Kurt appeared with hat in hand. Only it was Alicia he went to. He delivered Ludia's missing garment to her sister's outstretched hand. Ludia could not but watch from a distance. Ludia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb. Still the early days of summer. I thought she was 12 in the first one. Was she always has she always been 13? She might have been in the first. I thought the first thing she was 12, but I might just be wrong. There we go. We are at 504. Again, we want to hit around 600, but not get any higher than 600. So, yeah. The sun will rise and will set, but no amount of days can ford the divide between us. Have I only to pray to hope that the heavens, and all their cruelty, heed my humble plea. Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? Courtyard was as it was any given day. There was a Maria, Alicia, and Ludia. Alicia, get down from there this instant. You're too ill to be doing anything half so dangerous. Alicia, however, would not listen, for she was 16 and loved nothing more than to climb. Oh, did we get the climbing trees again? Interesting. I didn't know we could actually get repeats here. Okay, so we already got this one, so we'll just skip through it until we get the dialogue option here. Oh, this is new. A frightening thought suddenly crossed Ludia's mind. What if Alicia were to demand Kurt be removed from the castle? Goodness knows she hates him well enough. I guess it can't be the same, but that start was the same. In her heart, though, Lydia knew what to do. Were such an ending to befall their love story, I would cross oceans, move mountains to be with you, my Kurt. Where you go, I follow. So we're going to choose Throw Your Arms Around Him. This is going to be 101 points. You can also do Taken by the Hand, which again gives you about 10 more points, but there's a chance a bad outcome happens. So we'll just do Throw Your Arms Around Him, which will get us close. It'll get us a little bit over 600, but at that point we actually want to jump all the way up to 700 if we can. So Throw Your Arms Around Him. Darling Kurt, how I long to be as free as you are, to know a world beyond these walls, to see what you see. Nobility has afforded me nothing except confinement. As Lydia was lost to her own misery, Kurt was called away by his father Edmund. Lydia's secret love for her gardener seemed to know no limit. Lydia, a girl of 13. Here we go, we should be at about 600 points now. What a day it has been, Lydia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. And there we go, 605. That's a good... Oh, a knock preceded Albert's voice. Still awake, child. Off to bed with you. I hear you were often late to your afternoon studies. Time for play is done. Now sleep. Yes, father. Good night, Lydia cried, settling down for bed. Could be he's privy to my secret? Gods, I hope not. He would never forgive me. Oh, we lost the points? I should have chosen the slightly higher option. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Courtyard was as it was any given day. We're still fine, but foul mood was upon Alicia today. Why are you making that face, Alicia? You look positively bizarre. What's it to do with you? Leave me be. Maria and Lydia fell silent, their sister's unpleasantness grown infectious. The father of ours promised to take me to the theater tonight, but he canceled again. Alicia was nothing if not discreet. Or direct. That's the opposite of discreet. Lydia found herself jealous. Father had never made her a promise like that. What is all this, ladies? Is something amiss? It was Edmund who appeared from behind. Good afternoon. Fine weather, isn't it? Maria greeted their groundskeeper. The two others paid their respects in turn and then explained Alicia's ill temper. Ma, you poor creature, Edmund tutted. He's a spoiled thing, that's all. It's Kurt who deserves pity if anyone, Maria noted. Kurt? No, milady, he is worth no such compassion. There was a touch of melancholy in Edmund's eyes as he turned to Lydia. Lady Lydia, does something trouble you? To get the highest points we actually want to do, I want to speak with my beloved, which would be like an insane amount of points. If we were still at 600, we would go for it. But I actually think, yeah, it's not going to be, because we went under 600, it's not going to be quite enough. So we're going to go, I feel bad for Kurt. I feel terribly sorry for Kurt. You've no need to feel bad for a thing for the boy, milady. He's a hopeless whelp, frankly speaking. Edmund shook his head ponderously, just as a teasing glint flickered in Alicia's eyes. You wouldn't feel half so sorry if you didn't love him. Lydia's face went hot and crimson. Don't be absurd, that's just ridiculous. Noting that the sour mood from before had lifted, Edmund quietly took his leave. I'm being serious, Alicia. I have no such feelings for him. Lydia, a girl of 13. So we should be around like 650 after this, which is good. It means we have the jump, we can get the jump we needed. But let's just see. Our dad shouldn't reduce our... Oh, ooh, we're really close. We're really close here. We have to hope we don't get a certain event. Where was any given day. We don't want... now, where did Lydia run off to? Is it just me, or has she been acting strangely of late? It's not just you. She's turned her hand to gardening of all things. I think we're fine. I think. Because I think this is gardening, not the herb garden, which is the one we want to avoid. In a corner of the courtyard, Lydia sat alone, tending to a quaint bed of flowers. Okay, it's not herbs, it's flowers. Perfect. Ah, at last. It's starting to look like a proper garden. I wonder what Kurt will say when he sees it. Did you get the sense that she's avoiding us? What of it? She's been this way for as long as I can remember. While Maria worried, Alicia shrugged. Yes, perhaps it's all in my head. It's just so hard to tell with that girl. Oh, or that I never born noble. How simple life would be had I been a gardener's daughter. The eureka moment suddenly came upon her. Of course, it's so marvelously simple. Why didn't I think of it sooner? The plan was simple indeed. Foolishly so, in fact. I'll run away for a time, and when I return to the castle, dirty and unrefined, I'll apply to be a groundskeeper. So this is actually one of the first ones where we're going to have a second option. if we choose a certain answer. So we're going to choose time to pack my things. Ludia suddenly rose to her feet and espied a figure out of the corner of her eye. And then we're going to say, for the second option, who goes there? This is going to give us 147 points, putting us up to about 800. Her voice was nigh inaudible. Kurt's head suddenly poked out from a thicket some distance away. Oh, forgive me, milady. I was just passing through. Her heart sang like a bell struck. Please. The words came unbidden, but served to stop Kurt from going. Ludia found the will to speak deep within and conquered the fright that nearly stilled her tongue. How much water should I give my flowers? Do as you have been. They'll thrive. Kurt offered a quick, perfunctory bow, and then he was gone. Ludia could not even watch her love leave. She stood there, rooted to the spot, and emptiness taking over. Ludia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb, hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. What a day it has been, Ludia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have done? Okay, and here we go. We should be at 809, which should put us into the final little one here, which is always the last one. It should be about an herb garden. Oh no, I think I got 9 points higher than I should have. Morning, daughter. How do you fare? It was our handmaid's responsibility to rouse Ludia every morning. Today it was her lord father who woke her. Tendril of dread unfurled in Ludia's stomach. Father? What is it? What brings you here? I've already spoken to Alicia, but I have a mind to send you both to school in Lhasa. Also a several days' ride from Kus Castle by carriage. Kurt would become no more than a distant memory were Ludia to do as she was bade. Father, no, this is much too sudden. My daughter, the decision is yours to make, but I have a responsibility to see you properly introduced in a noble society. Besides, I cannot keep watch over you forever. The help keeps me busy enough as is. Breath seized in her throat. Father knew of her love for Kurt. Her hands found their way up to her cheeks. I will hear your decision at supper the day after next. Command made her father swept out of the room. Ludia, a girl of 13, sat in her bed weeping, a tender, innocent love still warm in her heart. Shoot. So ends the tale of love. I got the bad ending. If I would have chosen any other option there, I could have got like right under 800. I didn't realize, I read this right at the end. It says, if you land between 800 and 9,999, the story ends early. Okay, well, I'm going to hop back into Enavia Chronicles, and I'll be back once we're like in the high 700s. So that way we can try to get the good ending here. Okay, I am at the basically same point we were right when we failed, but this time I'm a lot lower when I just answered this was the runaway question, where Kurt came up and then she imagined running away with him and then ran into him. So this should give me 147 at 610, should only give me about 750, but that will be enough to not only not end the story, but it should also be enough that we get the trigger to go into the final part of the story. So there's 757. So we should now get the herb garden thing. Honestly, it's just a game of math. As long as you can add numbers and subtract numbers, you really can just figure out how to beat this. But this is the same as any other day. Though it was not to be all three sisters today. Only the youngest, Ludia, came. Alicia is taken to bed ill, and Maria is to stay with her until she is better. Alicia had been in poor health since her youth, and it was not uncommon for her to come down with a fever. I love my sisters, I do, but it's nice to have time to oneself, too. Ludia set out wandering lost to her musings. Birds chirped quick songs as if lamenting the highlands' short summers. Beside the pond and past the grove was an herb garden that served as entrance to the expansive wild wood beyond. Father will notice soon, if he hasn't already, Ludia thought to herself anxiously. Must not draw attention to myself. I must be patient, as I'm sure I'll discover Kurt's feelings for me in time. But until then, I will behave. Do you hear that? Behave. So, here's where it matters. So, we're going to want to try to get 300 points right here with one question. So, we're going to choose... But I love him so. Ludia found herself between the Auger's Pond and the Lion's Pond. On the water's edge, an area called Heath's Haven provided shade and a place to sit. Not far from that was the shed where Edmund and his son kept their tools, where they often took afternoon breaks. A gentle breeze would wound through the trees, and birds sang in a tranquil tune. It really sucks because I think if you made it this far, there's only 2 answers that can get you enough points to win. Even with my point total right here, there's technically 2, but like if you're not at 750, I don't think you can win at all. So we're going to choose go to Edmund Shed. This is the highest points you can get. This will get us 300, and this will also let us beat it. So let's go ahead and go to Edmund Shed. Wonder what Edmund is doing. Not that I care much. It's Kurt I wish to see. Lydia hurried for Edmund's cottage, where she crossed paths with the groundskeeper himself. Why, if it isn't Lady Lydia? What brings you to this neck of the woods, and on your own, no less? My sister has taken ill, so I'm on my own today. Poor thing. Caught another fever, has she? Kurt's in bed too, as it so happens. He is? At this time of day? I force him out at the crack of dawn to see that Heath's Haven is cleaned. He's worn out by this hour every day. Lydia was just about to return to the castle when she stopped, turned, and asked, Might I trouble you for some tea? Though no doubt perplexed by the favor, Edmund invited her into his humble shelter. She found Kurt asleep on a bench. Forgive me, my lady, but I ask that you keep your visit here a secret from those in the castle. Edmund returned to work, leaving Lydia alone with the sleeping Kurt. The young girl lost herself in fantasy as she buried her feet in soil. Oh, mistress, you'll ruin your fine clothes. Allow me to find you a proper seat. Kurt, it appeared, had woken up. Please, stay where you are. All my dresses end up stained in some manner or another eventually. Do not mind this, just as it is. Would I join you for tea? Never had such a simple question brought such joy. She nodded, and the two sat together. They talked of this and that, neither one completely at ease. What do you speak of when you sup with your family? In truth, I don't do much speaking at all. At least Alicia does enough chatting for the both of us. Are there balls every night? No, thank heavens. Such things are fun, yes, but they are exhausting affairs. Not to mention lonely. Nobles certainly are odd. Oh, forgive me. I should not have said that. It's all right. I'm done with this life anyway. Done? How so? Is nobility something you can quit? An emptiness overtook Ludius then. She nibbled at her lip, struggling not to pout. Lydia brought her teacup to her lips and stared at Kurt over the brim. I love the smell of soil. It's comforting, no? There is but one scent that grants me comfort. It's sweet and beautiful, like a flower in full bloom. With a hand upon the table, Kurt leaned forward, bringing his face to Lydia's. He fell silent, as did Lydia. The coming kiss hummed at her lips, but her excitement was snuffed out in a flash. Where would they live? How would they eat? Reality came crashing down around them. Kurt fell back into a seat, limp, and hugged his cup in both hands. In their hearts, love and unease warred. Lydia, a girl of 13, her heart yet a flower bulb hidden beneath the soil, eager to bloom. These were still the early days of summer. So yeah, that event happens after you hit about 670 points, but if you don't make it all the way up to 700, then the max you can get here is 300, which means you would end just shy of 1,000. What a day it has been, Lydia reflected. Tell me, my darling Kurt, what would you have me do? I long to be with you, but you feel as if a million leagues away. I fear one day soon my heart will shatter. There we go, we have 1,057 points. If I only to pray, to hope that the heavens in all their cruelty heed my humble plea. Oh, Kurt, can you and I hope for a brighter tomorrow? Well, do I have news for you, Lydia? I played good the second time. Because I forgot to math the first time and missed it by like 7 points. I awoke to the sound of rain lashing against my window pane. The sky was black, having yet to yield to dawn. Not even birdsong could be heard. I stood before my closet in a mood that did not match the foulness of the weather. Kurt and I would be gone from here soon. Where would our story lead us? To work as farmhands on a ranch? To do some backwater village's inn? Or perhaps this love would kill the both of us, leave us for dead in a ditch. I mean, see this through come hell or high water. That was the point of this, right? Lutetia clutched her bag tight to her chest, heart battering against her ribs. She shut the door behind her, hurried through the quiet castle halls, and slipped out into the world beyond. She sucked in a breath, the cold air penetrating her throat and lungs. Raindrops began to fall, and Ludia lifted her bag above her to shield herself as best she could. Kurt would be awake by now, busy cleaning Heath's haven. She still had no idea what to say to him, or how, but love, pure and honest, filled her from crown to heel. At length, Heath's haven came into view. There he was, just as Ludia had hoped. She raced to him, her breathing turning ragged. "Milady, what are you doing out here?" She did not stop running until she had thrown herself into his arms. "I do not want to marry him, the man that father chose for me." A shroud of hazy mist rose to hide them, riding into a world all their own. Ludia wept and wept, much to Kurt's confusion. She struggled for the words to express herself, but all that came out were tears upon tears. Curtains of silvery fog hid the lovers from sight. It would not be long before the servants of the castle began their search for the missing girl. Ludia, at the tender age of 13, at last found a voice with which to speak her heart, if only a little. This, dear readers, is where their story finds its end. What words did Kurt offer Ludia? What became of the star-crossed lovers? Perhaps it is not for us to know, as there is no more writ. The author wanted to leave us, and by extension, Ludia and Kurt, on this one last beautiful note. Undoubtedly, the scribe did not wish to pen a tragedy. Theirs will be a path of thorns, of trials and tribulations, of revolutions large and small, of a sister's illness on healing. But none of this is known, for not a page more speaks of it. And so ends this tale of love. And there we go. That is the good ending of Enavia Chronicles. Holy, I was worried. Oh, here we have our principal players. There's Ludia Sign, me, heroine of this tale. My sweetheart, Kurt Grohl. Next, my oldest sister, Maria Sign, followed by my second sister, Alicia Sign. There's my stern father, Albert Sign, and Kurt's father, the groundskeeper, Edmund Grohl. Minor player, Ramon Martin, never met that person. And finally, Baron, the lovable dog. But this is not the end, far from it. In fact, our journey has only just begun. I must dry my eyes, find courage where before only cowardice lay. I have to be strong for Kurt. We will survive this, I know it. Hey, look, we got 1,157 points. And there we go. That is the end of Enavia Chronicles, meaning that is also the end of all of the reading materials. This one, honestly, I think the other one was longer, but this one was very much... I see if you go in completely blind, how it's almost entirely RNG, and you just kind of have to take note of what gives what points. So yeah, very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, that was Enavia Chronicles and all of the reading materials, which means all we have left now in the game is to go beat the optional dungeon at Midlight's Deep, and then go finish the game off. I do believe there's a few more fights left, some of which are here at Orban Monastery, but I do think there's a final dungeon somewhere else. But either way though, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wind things down here. In the next episode, I think I'm going to try Midlight's Deep. So, I will see you guys then.